Hi everyone, and welcome to today's little show. Today I thought I'd show you what I'm kind of up to in the background. So years and years and years and years ago, I came up with an idea for drawing, which was basically taking a traditional poem or song and changing it into an object. In this case, I was thinking the song The 12 Days of Christmas. With the geese and the drums and the maids and the parrot and the pear tree. Partridge, should I say. And I wanted to put it into an image. So years and years and years ago, I came up with this. And this is A4 size, so my hand's pretty tiny anyway. So the image was originally meant to be either a cat or a fox. But the thing was, I didn't map it out in pencil. I literally just picked up a pen and went for it. It was fun, it was chill, there was nothing serious about the image at all, hence it's terrible. So I didn't map out the shape, I just enjoyed myself basically. I have fun. And when I was clearing through my massive pile of artwork, which you guys might spot now and then, I came across this image and I thought, you know what, I'd like to redo that better, bigger, and maybe a bit bolder, and actually really push it more. Back then I was using 0.5 markers, 0.005 by the looks of it, 0.1s, pretty much the whole range of the markers. So the things that I've got to change are the shape, because it's like a cat pose with the tail being cat, but the head is like a fox. So I've decided to go for a fox, that being like my logo and all of that jazz. But I still want to keep the idea of the poinsettias and parts of the poem and the song in here. And also the comedy side of things. If you've got really, really good eyesight, you'll spot there's little snow people. Can't call them snowmen now, got to be PLC. So there's snow people having a snowball fight over here. There's some mischief going on up here. And there's somebody, there he is, hiding. So there's like little things to look for. So the image itself is almost like a game. So how many snow people can you find? How many presents can you find? Where's this, where's that? So it's a bit of fun, and it, like I say, it was really relaxing and just silly, and I thoroughly enjoyed drawing it. So I then took from this, I did a rough outline. I looked at poses of foxes, had to find a fox as well. Luckily I do have local foxes, and I got a pose. So then from that I took it to this stage. So as you can see, it's a much more realistic shape to a degree. I still wanted to keep it loose. That was the main thing. I wanted it loose but recognisable. So when it comes to inking, there are lines like these ones here, which I've got to keep really dark. They're going to be thicker lines than the internal lines, and that's going to give me the depth and the dimension that I need. So as you can see, I started to add in bits. I've got Christmas jumpers, I've got Christmas socks. I've still got the snowball fight, but it's in a different area. I've got a slightly silly scene going on here. We've got the Christmas fairy, who's being admired by a tin soldier. But one of the snow people objects and is kind of blowing a trumpet at them. So the comedy is still going to be in there. The poinsettias are still there, the bells, the sleigh, everything's going to be in there. But it's going to be that weeny bit bigger. I literally do mean weeny. It is bigger image wise, but it's not bigger. I didn't want to go silly big. I'm still going to have the images inside pretty small, and that's going to be part of what makes the structure. So I've made some changes, some quite dramatic ones. I'm not going to change that word. So instead of having the Christmas trees in the air, I'm doing the angel feathers in the ears, and then the poinsettias staying the same in the middle, but instead of having the notes over the eyes, I'm simply going to have the drape and the bells and that's to symbolise the closed eyelids and the eyelashes. I thought that would be cleaner and simpler. The nose is going to be wood, the muzzle will be cornucopias, the geese and swans, sorry there's something glittery there annoying me. So the geese and swans are still going to be the paws, and I'm going to try and keep the anatomy a bit more defined, because as you can see here, it's just a mass. There's no muscle, there's no shape really at all. I could add in darker lines, but because the animal isn't a defined animal, it's no good. So in this case, as you can see by my terrible sketching, I've marked out my lines, and a lot of the pattern pieces are going to follow it quite tightly. And again, these will be in a thicker ink, and that will allow that definition. So I just wanted to show you roughly what I'm doing with that. And the thing is, it's going to be Christmas themed. The aim is probably going to be children or younger, or people who like a challenge, jigsaw lovers. Yes, I know you exist out there. And I don't want it though to be religiously Christmas, so it's unlikely I'll put any crosses in there. You're not going to find a Virgin Mary in here. Sadly, I'm trying to stick with that song. So 12 days Christmas my true love gave to me. So maybe there'll be a heart in here somewhere. I may include the joke lines of a carrot in a pear tree, you know, that sort of thing. But I want it just to be fun, loose, wild, silly. So from this position, where do I go? I've still got all of this detail, but you know what? Part of me is itching to get these girls going. Have I decided my inks? Yes and no. Years ago I used Mars Microns, Copics and some other not waterproof pens. And of course over the years, and I mean over the years, pens change, the inks change, the nib ratios change, the model changes, everything about a pen changes. So I've started to kind of do a couple of write-ups of what each one looks like, because you think two black pens would be exactly the same, wouldn't you? But the Uniball, which I'm probably not going to use, is not as black and crisp as the Derwent. So I'm more likely to go for the Derwent. But then I love my Microns. I mean, these are beautiful. Mind you, mine are about probably 10 years old, so they may be just a weeny bit dry. So please forgive me. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little bit of testing. But the Microns do glide. Once you get them going, they really do have a nice smooth movement. And then I've got the Faber-Castell Pitt pens, another nice one. Then this is the medium, which I'm probably going to use for, like, to start the edges, to make more defined lines, like the outline. And just to map out the shadows. Mini sketch. So I'll probably go for, actually, if I wrote that down, yeah, that's probably going to be the outline pen in all honesty. But what I don't want is a smooth edge on this, on the final image. I don't want that smooth arc. I will be using the items to create texture. I know the fur would normally be smooth, but I really want some texture in this image. Oh, hi Bad Art, nice to see you here. Yeah, I do admit it is a lot of work, but if I'm in the right mood, it'll take about 8 hours. If I'm not in a good mood, it'll maybe take 2 days. Also depends on how much I have to work. But I also want to include some like stylized images, so some really nice fancy leaves with swirlies and whirlies, and probably even framing around the leaves. So if, in a sense, it would become a colouring in image as well. So it'll go as a card, a colouring image, a game of can you find that. So the image in total I want to be multi-purpose, not just something you look at, put away, throw away. I want it to have a bit of life to it. Yes, I am that sad. Candy canes are going to get everywhere. But I really, 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 really want to stick snowmen everywhere. Sorry, snow people. Oh gosh, fan club's screaming at me already. So I'm going to go on mute and start penciling in, so pardon me. And bear with me. So let's see if we can get the camera a wee bit closer. Oh, today's word of the day is weenie. So, that is roughly how far I would go with the pencil work. It's not complete, but in a sense, I'm not bothered if it is complete because I want the flexibility. If something doesn't fit and I want to change it out, then this gives me nothing set in stone. It's all lightly drawn with a B pencil. I can erase it with my trusty Zim Zim. And for the finer points, I've got my Tombow Mono Eraser. Which is kind of like a little magic wand. It literally is. If you want a pinpoint eraser, these are absolutely brilliant. The refills are a little expensive for what they are, but hey, this is one of those products that I would say you pay for the quality. So next would be inking. So I've already decided what my outline is going to be, which is the Faber-Castell medium. So the inside, it's a tricky one because I need to know that the pen is going to be like, I'm not going to have to go and buy a new pen halfway through. And as I say, some of my pens are like 10 years old, and yeah, they're still going. They might not be great, but they're still going. But I don't want to have to change ink too much. I mean, that's a 0.8 in the microns compared to the medium. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be the outline. I don't want to go silly, so I'm probably not going to go 0.5. Sorry, 0.05. That one. But then again, I might. But the thing I've got to think about is, it's okay seeing the image as a chunky image, right? But what happens when I shrink it? Like that. That's going to affect how the detail comes out. Areas with really, really, really fine detail, like these couple of carrots. I knew I'd find a carrot somewhere. Those may just turn into a greyish black blob on printing when it's shrunk down too much. So I've got to be really careful with my line weight. But that's definitely going to have to be the outside. I'm tempted with the 0.1. Let's see, maybe the 1.2. This is a problem when you've got too much choice. No, 1.2 is too close to the medium. That would be my secondary outliner. Yeah, I've got too much choice. 0.3. Oh, that's slick. You know what, I might go for that. Unless I've got 0.5. So 0.8 there. No, it's too chunky. I don't want chunky. Yeah, I've got too much selection again. I think I'm going to have to go with the 0.5 uni, which is, it actually says water and fade resistant. I can put it to the test. So that would be my outline, and this would be my inline. I think that will be enough. I can change it through pressure and angle at the end of the day. But then the 0.3 should be dinkier, shouldn't it? Or do I go 0.3? I tell you what, I'm going to start with 0.3. If I don't like it, I'll go to 0.5 because it's easier to start with a thin line and make it thicker than, well, it's impossible the other way around, isn't it? So for inking, where would I start? I would literally zoom in, look at one tiny piece at a time and work from there. If you're wondering why I have this under my hand, it's so that I'm not actually physically, the oils and stuff in my hand aren't going to smudge the image. The paper that I'm using is cheap. Yeah, it's a cheap sketchbook that I've got. But what I'll do is halfway through the process, I'll get photocopies. I might work on the photocopies and not the original, and then work off of that, and that way my original stays crispy. And if I stuff up, I'm stuffing up on copy. So I am going to do the nose. The reason I've got blue pencil behind here is it won't show up on a photocopy, but also I can erase it. This is Faber-Castell's Polychromo pencils, really light. My erasers will take it off, so I don't have any worries about sketchy lines being in there. So after I've inked it, allowed ink, in truth with this stuff I'm probably going to give it at least 24 hours to dry. And then I can erase it. So here we go, first ink line. Ooh, that feels good. And in fact, what I'll probably do is add in dark spots. So whereas this image has got like just solid line work, I'm going to block in some areas like I saw as pure black. And I'm hoping that will help give shadow and definition. So as I say, I'm almost making it up as I go along, but that's the fun of art. So I know this line is going to need to be slightly thicker, so I'll come through and re-outline that in a bit. Right, so I'm going to start inking, so I'm going back on mute because I'm listening to some really cool tunes, 80s stuff, and I will be back talking, if you can bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm back. My annoying voice is back, people. Okay, so as you can see, I've started the inking process. There are a couple of mistakes here and there, but because I've started with a thin line, I can play around. I've got flexibility on this. I've taken out a bit of the pencil so I can see where I can add in detail. I've tested out a not one of them teeny weeny ones, you know, weeny, literally weeny. And I think it's going to be too fine, so that's something I need to look into. So I started adding like little characters, the main characters who are going to be almost like the story within the image. So that's gonna be it for tonight. I'm taking lots of regular breaks, gonna come back, regular break, come back, and make changes as I go. So hopefully I will see you on my next live stream, hopefully. And thank you very much for popping by. It does mean a lot to me. It is appreciated at the end of the day. And I hope this helps inspire you guys to maybe try something. Take a theme and turn it into something. I know at school, when I was at school, all those billions of years ago, we used to get an exercise where you would draw the outline of an object and then fill it with the words of what the object was. So if it was a tree, you might use words like root, bark, leaf, leaves, insects, all sorts. You would fill the whole outline with the words. And that's pretty much what this exercise is. I've got my outline and I'm filling it. But in this case, it's from a Christmas rhyme. So, like I say, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. So take care, all the best, and happy drawing and creating to you all. Thank you.